Really? Well, they did almost 20 of them. About
17.
Very interesting.
17 glorious segments.
So what did you do with your time in your life between 1966, that was Shane, and 1972 when you replaced Alias Smith and Jones with Kung Fu?
I replaced Elliott Smith and Jones? I didn't know that.
You came out as a pilot movie, first of all.
Well, it wasn't really a pilot. It was a movie of the week. It was incidentally a pilot. Nobody really thought that Kung Fu would ever be a TV series. It was considered just entirely too far out, too strange. A Chinese hero. You know, it was kind of an accident. The network never thought it was going to be a success. But I didn't know about replacing Elliott Smith and Jones. That's news to me, actually. We just did it. We just thought it was a good script.
I understand you were surprised by the fact that ABC would go ahead with something as novel and experimental and philosophical as that.
I'd actually hoped they wouldn't. That was I was betting on that, because I didn't want to do another series. And it surprised me that they went for it. Well, actually, they didn't. The audience went for it. And then I examined myself about it, and I thought I could easily sabotage it and get out. But it just seemed to me that it was kind of important that it get out. And I thought, I don't want to do anything to screw this thing up, because it's too good. I always thought it was sort of an anti-television series. I could never understand why a television network would want to. But of course, you know, they don't care as long as it makes money. But I thought basically the thing the TV series was telling everybody was turn off your set. Stop watching TV.
Were you in favor of that kind of attitude? Turn off your set. Let's not watch television.
I guess I still am.
Yeah. You've done a lot of television work, though, for someone who's not crazy about it. But actually, at one point, you didn't own a television.
Well, I've hardly ever owned a television, actually. But when you say I've done a lot of television work, yes, I have, but I've done a lot more feature work. I mean, I have done 56, I think. I lost count. Last year, I did 11 features. No, not actually. I did 9 features and 2 television movies of the week. And I kind of lost track of the numbers, but I think it's 56 feature movies. And I've only done, well, I've done 2 television series and a few television segments scattered over the years, and maybe half a dozen movies of the week and miniseries. So even though you say I've done a lot, I've really done a lot less of them than I have of features. And I've done a whole lot of theater. I try to do it all.
Do you have any preferences then? What type of acting you prefer the most? If, for example, theater is above life and you have to project a lot, hello, here I am, and television is certainly different. It's the camera's on you, you've got to speak very quietly. In fact, for Kung Fu, I understand that your sound man used to rip their hair out with the low tone that you kept.
Well, not really. We had some of the best sound men on the earth, and they kind of enjoyed the challenge of it. But, well, my father told me, he said, never let a sound man tell you how to act. And he was one of the guys that created the whole idea of talking very loud and talking very soft, maybe in the same sentence. And that is a problem to sound man, and the sound man would prefer that he modulates you so that he doesn't have to modulate himself. But I don't know, you know, you talk about innovation. I don't really feel that I've done much in the way of innovation. I mean, basically, I just go out there and do it. And I do it the way I feel about it. And I really don't think about trying to move the perimeters forward or anything like that. I just try to hit my mark, you know, and say the words and make them not sound too stupid.
Of course, you go in with a script written by someone else. You haven't got much control over what kind of words you have to speak. Or do you have a lot of say in, listen, I can't say this?
Well, in Kung Fu, I did that. We basically did our rewriting right on the set. And sometimes they'd hand me some dumb stuff to say, and I'd say, like you say, I can't say this. He can't say this, I would say. And we change it right there. And I think that's really common in pictures, actually. I think, you know, I could have been in on the story conferences, but the idea bored me at the time. I think nowadays I'd feel different about it. I'd want to sit in and talk to the guys, but at that time I didn't want to. And I knew that I could do anything I wanted to on the set anyway, because they got the camera pointed at me, and they're saying, okay, do it, you know, and they're looking at their watches, and I say, I don't want to say this. And what they would usually say was, well, what do you want to say? Because they want to get the shot done. So I had an inordinate amount of control over the words.
Your dad was called One Take Carradine.
Mm-hmm.
Were you?
Yeah. I'm like that. People don't call me that, you know, they call me that